Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Karmanya karma yah pasyed, karmanya karma yah pasyed, akarmani ja karma yah, akarmani ja karma yah, sabuddhiman manusyeshu, sabuddhiman manusyeshu, sayuktah kritsna karma krita, sayuktah kritsna karma krita, yasya sarve samarambha, yasya sarve kama sankalpa varjitaha jnanagnidagdha karmanam tamahuh panditam buddhaha. So in these verses, Lord Krishna is praising that vision of seeing akarma in karma. That vision is praised by describing the person having the vision. So how do you praise a knowledge? By praising the person who knows, the wise person. So a wise person is described in these verses with reference to karma. Now next verse is verse number 20. Same vision of seeing akarma in karma is being described in another way by describing the state of mind of the wise person. So we have to emulate the wisdom, not so much by what the wise person does, but what is the wisdom of the wise person? That wisdom, how does it wisdom make the person think, feel? How does that person feel? And that feeling, what does that, what that feeling, what does it make him do or think? So what is his thinking, what is his feeling, what are his values, what are the attitudes, is what we have to emulate. So when Arjuna asked of Lord Krishna, Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava, He Keshava, Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha. Katham asau bhashyate, how is he described by others? What are his lakshana, the characteristics? Sthitadihi kim prabhasheta. So literally Arjuna's question is, how does he talk? Kimasida, how does he sit? Vrajeda kim, how does he walk? But he did not mean to know in what posture the wise person sits, or what's the style in which he is walking, etc. Nor does Lord Krishna describe things that way. How does he sit? Meaning, how is he when he is by himself? How does he speak? Meaning, how does he greet the situation that comes before him? How does he walk? How does he conduct himself when he himself goes into situations? Bhasha, what is the main characteristic? What is his state of mind? Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthamanogatan. So we have to know the state of the mind of the wise person, which is what Lord Krishna describes. In that process also describes the actions and the results of actions. But what are his basic attitudes or understanding or the perception? So, the verse number 20 describes here again, Tyaktva karma phala sangam nitya-trptah nirashrayah karmanyabhipravrittopi naiva kinchit karoti saha. Second line says, Karmani abhipravrittah api. Abhidah pravrittah. Karmani abhidah pravrittah. Meaning, in every way he is pravrittah, he is active, he is performing actions. And when he performs, so says here, Sango Panga Anusthaya Pravrittah. Abhipravrittah means he performs actions properly, as it should be done. For example, if he performs a Vedic karma like Agnihotra, then all Anga, Upanga, all of these will perform as they are prescribed. He doesn't skip anything, doesn't compromise anything. Meaning that in performing karma also he becomes a role model of how should a thing be done. He is thorough in performing the action. And you can see that he is focused in performing the action. So while performing action, he performs action as it should be performed, thoroughly. With a total, mindfully you can say, mindfully, thoroughly, properly, all the steps are properly taken care of. The anga, upanga, the limbs of the action, the minor limbs of the actions. So when you perform action, a lot of preparations are required, a lot of other side things are also done. All of that is being done, whether it's a Vedic karma or the Vyavaharika karma. Abhipravrittah. Abhidah pravrittah. He is very well pravrittah, very well engaged in activity. Looks like he is totally devoted to action. Up even then, naiva kanchit karoti saha. So abhipravrittah, he is, from the standpoint of the onlookers, he is engaged in activity and with full attention. Wholeheartedly is engaged in activity. He is very thorough in performing the actions. He does what should be done, how it should be done. There is a perception that others have about this person. Naiva kinchit karoti saha. What is his own perception of himself? Naiva kinchit karoti. He does not do anything. So he is not doing anything really is our goal, looking at things. Usually doing things is a burden. Because doing things involves effort. At the physical level, at the emotional level, intellectual level. And sometimes when what we are required to do is not what we necessarily care to do, Swami, I don't enjoy my work. It's monotonous work. It's not challenging work. So very often people are not very comfortable with work. In which case there may be a tendency to avoid work, finish it off, or it is waiting when will this thing be over. Even a person doesn't avoid work, doesn't compromise. Still, if he's not very comfortable with work, then he's happy when the work is over. He's relieved when the work is over. Because while the work was being done, there was a certain amount of stress, exertion involved. So when the work becomes for us is a burden, a cause of stress, a cause of appointment and disappointment, when it creates reaction in us, sometimes karma or activity itself causes reaction that I don't care to do it, I don't want to do it, why should I do it, etc. Oh, let me do that, I want to do it. Another thing. Before anybody comes, I grab it. Or sometimes outcome creates a reaction. I did all this Swamiji and nobody seems to care for it, nobody seems to notice it, nobody has any value for it. Meaning, I don't get the phala or the outcome that I am seeking. So karma phala or outcome also can be stressful. Both ways. If the outcome is success, then also it causes some reaction of elation in me. And when that elation or euphoria is over, then it can also cause depression. And when things do not go the way I want them to go, the outcome is not what I want, then of course there is disappointment. So in many ways, karma can be a source of pain. Physical exertion is not a big problem for us. You can take rest if there is physical exertion. The problem is the mental exertion that it causes. Because I am not comfortable with what I have to do. I have to do something, although I may want to do something else. That what I have to do, not comfortable with it. I don't enjoy it, etc. And having done also, the outcome also can cause stress by not being what I expected it to be. So this is how karma can become a burden. When Lord Krishna says, Naiva kinchit karoti saha, both ways. Because he doesn't have kartrutva or doership, from his own standpoint, he does not do anything because I am does not do anything. I am speaking, I am hearing, I am walking, I am talking, I am doing things. If my focus is on walking, talking, doing, then I am doing things. If my focus is on I am, never lose sight of I am. Recognize that I am is where there is no action involved, no exertion involved. That walking, talking, whatever action is in fact being done in my presence. I am and therefore things take place. For things to take place, I am does not have to exert in any way. Its presence itself is enough. Then Lord Krishna says, Naiva kinchit karoti saha. From his own standpoint, he does not do anything. Number one, because he does not have the sense of kartrutva. He doesn't have the complex that I am doing things. He knows that things take place in my presence. Secondly also, he is not doing anything because doing is in no way a burden to him. There is no compulsion in doing something. There is no disappointment in the outcome. There is no boredom in doing something. There is no resistance to do something. There is no compulsion in doing anything. He is totally comfortable with what he does. Naiva kinchit karoti saha. So what enables him to do that? Lord Krishna said in the first line, Tyaktva karma phala sangam nitya-trptah nirashraya. So this is the state of the mind of the wise person, which is what we like to know. That karmanya vipravrittopi, even though he is engaged in activity, fully engaged in activity, Naiva kinchit karoti, so it does not do anything whatever. So this is our goal, that I do not want to do anything. I want to retire so that I don't have to do anything. That state this person is already enjoying. Therefore we would like to know. It is not performing action or not performing action makes me free from the burden of bondage of action. It is my very attitude towards action and the result, etc. So, tyaktva karma phalasangam nitya-trptah nirashraya. Three adjectives are given here to describe the wise person, of which the middle one, nitya-trptah, is very important. This wise person, nitya-trptah. Trupta means contented. Nitya-trptah, always contented, ever satisfied. Satisfied with what? Ever satisfied with his or her own self. And therefore satisfied with everything else. We have said this earlier, that when I am satisfied with myself, when I am happy with myself, I find myself. I don't have to make an effort. I find myself happy with others. I find myself satisfied with others. So trupta, satisfied with everything, basically with himself, but with everything. Nitya-trptah, always truptah, always content, always satisfied. See, by adding this adjective nitya to truptah, content we are now and then. But that contentment is fleeting contentment, it comes and goes. Because that contentment is caused by something. When I get something, achieve something, or have something, possess something, then I am contented. Santosha. Santosha or contentment with what I have. But then little later I may find that what I have is not quite, this is good but not enough for that, not enough for that. And thus I find again some deficiency in what I have and I become discontented again. So when the trupti or the contentment is a result of something else, possessing something, attaining something, possessing something, then what I possess is changing. What I possess can never be the same, even next moment. And the way my contentment comes from what I possess, but what I possess changes, or my own attitude towards what I possess changes, then it no more causes santosha or contentment to me. So the trupti or the contentment that comes from something else, which is usually the nature of trupti or contentment that we have. I am satisfied with good food, nice dinner, satisfied. Nice music, satisfied. Nice movie, satisfied. Nice company, satisfied. Nice view, satisfied. Nice book, satisfied. So we are satisfied now and then because of something. But then, number one, the capacity of anything to cause satisfaction also is limited. where the law of diminishing return works. That even though I can be happy with music, it cannot be forever, then I want to change that music also, change the book also, change the scenery also, change the food also, change the company also. Either things change or because my mind's attitude changes. Therefore, our experience is that nothing can give me contentment or satisfaction for any sustained length of time. Either because the capacity of that to give me contentment is limited, or because my needs, offensible needs, keep on changing, therefore a thing that gave me contentment now is not able to give me contentment later. Therefore, my trupti or contentment or satisfaction is a fleeting satisfaction, comes and goes. The words of Puja Swamiji, dukkam, 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 sukham, dukkam, 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 sukham. That sukh comes now and then. There is nitya-trptah. The trupti, the contentment, the satisfaction that we enjoy is anitya, impermanent, fleeting, because it is caused by something other than myself. And everything in the universe which is other than myself, anatma, is created, perishable, impermanent. So naturally, the trupti that it can provide me is going to be impermanent, anitya. Or my mind's requirements keep on changing. Therefore also I find atrupti from what I found trupti earlier. So Lord Krishna, nitya-trptah. A person can be nitya-trptah if trupti is not created. If it is not acquired, not created, meaning it is always there. What comes has to go. What is created has to perish. Nitya-trptah, ever contented, meaning that the contentment is not caused by something. Nirnimitta, nitya, I mean nirnimitta. Without any reason he is happy, without any reason he is content. Our contentment is due to a reason. That is why our contentment is impermanent. The wise person's contentment is nitya-trptah without any reason. Oh, what is the reason? He is the reason. The I am is the reason for his contentment. Because we join something to I am. Therefore we become impermanent and therefore the contentment also becomes impermanent. He doesn't join anything with I am. I am is ever there, ever boundless. Therefore he abides in boundlessness. And therefore satisfaction, contentment, nitya-trptah. This is the characteristic of the wise person. And therefore, tyaktva karma phala sangam asanga. Asamantat sangha asanga. Sangha means attachment. Asanga means, of course, attachment, strong attachment. Karma phala sangha is explained in two ways. Attachment with karma phala. Karma phala asanga means karma phale asakti, asanga or asakti. The attachment for karma phala. Some people say attachment for karma and phala. But let us say karma phala asanga, attachment to karma phala. What is the attachment to karma phala? Karma phala means the result of an action, outcome of an action. And what is the attachment to that outcome? Is when I want that the karma phala or outcome should be only such and such. That only when the outcome is of this nature, that I will be happy. If the outcome is of a different nature, I will not be happy. Meaning that when my happiness depends upon karma phala, when my happiness depends upon the outcome of an action, which is usually the case. Why is it so? Again, going back to the earlier discussion, because I find myself unhappy as I am, and therefore I need something else or someone else to make me happy. That something else will not come by itself, therefore I perform an action so that that desired thing comes to me. I acquire it, I possess it, I enjoy it. So the karma phala becomes important to me because I expect or I want that karma phala or outcome should make me happy. Because the karma phala can make me unhappy also. How can karma phala make me unhappy? When it is not what I want it to be. When it doesn't. If I want ego gratification, it doesn't gratify the ego. Doesn't get me the kind of honor, the respect that I want, recognition that I want. Or I may want sense gratification. The karma does not bring the desired sense gratification. I went to a restaurant, all right, Swami, food was no good. Went to the movie, no good. So all these objects of senses or mind, they also may not live up to my expectation, in which case I am dissatisfied with them. So the ability that karma phala or outcome has, or ability that anything has to make me unhappy, is a result of my expectation from that thing that it should make me happy. So what is attachment? Attachment is my expectation that the outcome should make me happy. Outcome should satisfy my expectation. I become happy when my expectation is satisfied. So when the movie satisfies my expectation, when the dinner satisfies my expectation, music satisfies my expectation, my business or profit satisfies my expectation, when the promotion satisfies my expectation, when recognition satisfies my expectation, etc., etc., then I'm happy. If it doesn't satisfy my expectation, I'm unhappy. It's called attachment. So a person who is unhappy by nature always has an expectation that something else should make that person happy, and that something else is karma phala. That I do something so that I achieve something that will make me happy. So usually karma phala or outcome of an action is the main source of happiness for us. You may say, no Swami, a lot of things come to me, I don't do anything. But things may come to you, but that's the result of some earlier karma. Things don't come just like that, there is always a reason. So either you perform karma now to acquire or achieve things that you want, or you may feel that things are coming on their own, Swamiji, but that's the result of the karma performed in the past. But whatever comes to me is always karma for the result of an action, of the past or present. So my sense of happiness, my sense of comfort, my sense of well-being right now is all dependent upon karma phala. Then I am ashritaha, I am dependent. Today I am dependent upon karma phala to make me happy. And therefore I am also dependent upon karma to generate the desired karma phala. So I do not do any action, any karma. I always attempt to do that karma which in my opinion will create me a situation that will make me happy. Not a karma that will create a painful situation. Like Arjuna wanted to avoid this karma. of fighting the battle. Swajanmi kasam hatva sukhinasya madhave madhava. How can we be happy killing our relatives, the dear and near and dear ones? So unpleasant outcome, he doesn't want to do things. So it's a reaction towards karma phala. There is attachment. Attachment also includes aversion. So today I am dependent. Dependent upon other things to make me happy. Depend on other things to make me free from unhappiness. And those things do not happen by themselves. I have to make them happen. So I perform karma or action to make things happen. So that what happens makes me happy, what happens makes me free from unhappiness. This is called dependence. Ashraya. So today I am ashritaha. I am dependent upon what? Karma phala. And since karma phala can only come from a given karma, therefore I am also ashrita or dependent on karma. Because I want desired result, therefore a karma also is important to me, because only a given karma can give me desired result, another karma may not, cannot. So today ashrita, I am dependent mainly upon karma phala, upon situations, upon events, upon people, upon things happening around me, because they can make me happy or unhappy. I want them to make me happy. I am dependent upon them. And therefore also dependent upon karma. Because only given karma can bring about a desirable or conducive situation, given karma may not. For Arjuna, from his perception, this karma or a battle would not create a conducive situation, would not create a desirable situation. Therefore, he does not want this karma. There also shows dependence. That I don't want to do something. It's one thing that I don't want to do something. That shows dependence. I want to do something is dependence, and I do not want to do something also is dependence. I want to do something because I look upon that as a source of happiness. I do not want to do something because I look upon that as a source of unhappiness. Sukha prapti, dukkha nivritti. Acquiring happiness, getting rid of unhappiness is my usual desire. So therefore, the one who is not nitya-trptah, one who is not trptah or satisfied with himself, or looks upon something else to make him satisfied. Therefore, there is dependence, ashrita, and then his opinion, sankalpa, as to what makes me happy or unhappy. And therefore, he wants only a desired result, doesn't want undesirable results. He wants a certain karma, doesn't want other karma. This I am describing as a situation known to us, from which we can visualize how it will be with a wise person who is free from this stuff. Tyaktva karma phala sangam. Having given up the asanga or asakti, the attachment for karma phala and also karma. You should not say having given up, really. Even the Lord Krishna says tyaktva. But tyaga has to happen. Tyaga or giving up cannot be an action. It can be an action as a discipline. As a self-restraint, it can be an action. But real tyaga or giving up has to happen. Meaning, karma phala, tyaga of karma phala asanga has to take place. Meaning that one from whom the attachment for karma phala has gone away. That's how we should say. Although again Lord Krishna says, prajahati yada kaman, when he gives up the desire No, when the desires go away on their own. Similarly, when the karma and phalasakti go away, they find no place here. Why? Nitya-trptah. When there is trupti, when there is satisfaction, contentment, there is freedom from need, freedom from expectation, freedom from desire, freedom from dependence. Then any action is fine. Any outcome is fine. Because he is fine with himself, therefore he is fine with everything else. As we said, when a person is satisfied with the self, he is also satisfied with everything else. When I am satisfied with myself, I make no demand upon myself. When I make no demand upon myself, I make no demand upon anybody else. When I don't make demand, nobody can dissatisfy me. Dissatisfaction of others also is due to lack of their fulfilling my demand or expectation. But when I am content with myself, no demand from me, no expectation from me, so no demand from others, no expectation from others. So asakti has no scope there. So asakti cannot exist with contentment. With nitya-trptah, the asakti cannot exist. So it's not that he has given up, he is free from karma-phala-asakti. So tyaktva karma-phala-sangam, having discovered freedom from the karma-phala-sanga, asakti, attachment, dependent upon karma-phala and karma. Why? Because having discovered freedom is his own nature. Tyaktva karma-phala-sangam nitya-trptah, that we discussed, nirashraya. Nirashraya, free from need of any ashraya. He is free from dependence. He is not ashrita, he is not dependent upon anything. Bhashyakara would say, drushta ishtafala sadhana ashraya rahita ityartha. Ashrayo nama yadashritya purushartham sisadhaishati. Ashrayo nama, what is called ashraya? Yad ashritya, depending upon which purushartham sisadhaishati, sadhitam ichchati. Purushartham sadhitam ichchati. One who desires to accomplish a certain desirable end, depending upon which? So karma. So karma is that upon which one depends in order to accomplish one's desirable end. And therefore karma also becomes important. So he is not dependent upon karma. Yet ashritya, depending upon which? Purushartham sisadhaishati. Purushartha, the human goal. He is free from purushartha. He is no goal. No purushartha, only prarabdha in his life. As the Manisha Panchakam says, prarabdha samarpitam svavapuhu. One is offered of svavapuhu, his own body, to prarabdha, to destiny, to Ishvara. No purushartha. No free will. In fact, so sankalpa prabhavan kaman, or no, just a survey, kama sankalpa varjita. Sankalpa also means free will. He doesn't have free will. No will to do something or not to do something. So that is no good, no freedom. That is freedom. The real freedom is the freedom from need to exercise freedom. The real freedom is the freedom from the need to exercise freedom. Meaning the real freedom is the freedom from the need to make a choice. I don't say that you give freedom. I say that is the goal. Right now I must make the right choice. But a time should come when I need not make a choice. When would that be? Every choice is the right choice. So therefore a wise person has no free will. Meaning, he has no need to exercise free will. He is comfortable with what is. So he doesn't have to make things happen. He doesn't have to reach somewhere. He doesn't need a special time, a special place, a special situation to be trptah, nitya-trptah. So then, he does not need to perform action to create something for him. That's called purushartha. That I want to create something for myself. It can be heaven. It can be dharma, artha, kama, whatever I want to create. So that I'll be happy. So usually what is purushartha is when an action is performed to create something desirable. Therefore I am ashrita, then I am dependent upon that action because that action is required to create something that is desirable for me. So, drushta ishta phala sadhana ashraya rahita. Ishta phala, a desirable outcome. Drushta and adrushta. In this world and the other world. Any outcome that is desirable. Now there is no such thing as a desirable outcome because everything is desirable. Because he is desirable. Therefore there is no outcome that is desirable. There is no situation that is to create to make it desirable. And therefore no specific action. He is not dependent upon any action, not dependent upon any situation, not dependent upon any to having to create something. So nirashraya. He is nirashraya means not, he is without refuge. He is free from need of a refuge. Nirashraya. Nirashraya means those fellows are without refuge. Nirashraya, free from the need for refuge. So person like that, tyaktva karma phala sangam, nitya-trptah, nirashaya. So this is all the result of the self-knowledge. Self-knowledge should do this to us. Then it's called self-knowledge. Therefore we try to do this to create self-knowledge. When self-knowledge comes, these things happen. Therefore, for self-knowledge to take place, we try to do these things. So they become the values. So this will be the spontaneous nature of the wise person. It will become the value for a seeker, for an aspirant. So the trupti becomes a value for us. Contentment becomes a value. Because when is it a value? When it's not something spontaneous, that means it's a deliberation. A value is when something is done deliberately or some sort is deliberately maintained. For a wise person, it is spontaneous. For me, contentment is a value. O mind, be content. Be happy with what you have. It is true that if you make a list of what you don't have, it's a long list, no doubt about that. Recognize that you also have things. And valuable things. Perhaps what you do not have is not that valuable compared to what you have. You have this beautiful human body, this mind. You have to listen to a Puja Swamiji. I have everything with me. A mind with which I can feel, with which I can love. An intellect with which I can know, I can understand, I can inquire, I can deliberate, I can discern. A body with which I can act, I can interact. Very precious things. Oh, that's by everybody has that Swami. So what? Just because everybody has doesn't mean it's not precious. And not that, we have worldly things also. I'm not a beggar. I have to be hungry. For most people, there are people who are needy people, and we have to accept that. There are people who don't have basic means and their need is justified. And so there can be a justifiable need in us also. I'm not saying that there should not be a need. We have to examine the nature of need. There may be a justifiable need, then fine, you go ahead and try to fulfill that. But we may also find that there are many needs that cannot be justified, that need not be there. We will find. So, rather than, I will not say that there should be no need of you, no need at all. At the same time, there are many needs that we can do away with, also we will find. Then let them go. We don't have to try to fulfill every need that the mind places before us. Most of it comes from comparison. I compare myself with others. And then I feel I'm inadequate. So I don't have to compare. I have to own up what I am. I don't have to be somebody else, etc., etc. So what I'm saying is that contentment is a value. Not a forced value, but a discovered value. I don't force contentment. Well, I'm content, I don't want it. No, that may be discipline, which is okay. That also will work, help somewhat. But it should be a discovered value. This is all the reason for contentment. And so, discover that reason. How many of the needs are all created needs? Because I'm trying to be somebody else. Many needs are superimposed by me upon myself because the world wants me to be something. So let us look at those things. We find that there are many needs that have been superimposed. That comes by comparison, comes from complexes, not from real needs. So there may be real needs, let us accept that. But there are many disposable needs also. So let us recognize them. Let us let them go. So contentment is freedom from need. That also is a value. Ultimately, a day will come when we will discover ourselves to be completely self-sufficient. But we are quite sufficient even as we are now, if not totally self-sufficient. So let us make a note of the sufficiency, the reason for sufficiency that we have right now. That much we should do. Nirasha, independent, self-sufficient. Let me try to become as self-sufficient, as self-reliant, as self-dependent as I can. Please get me a glass of water. No. Do things yourself. Whatever you can do. These little things. And I don't know what self-reliant means that. So, reduce dependence as much as possible. A lot of dependence is all contrived dependence, superimposed dependence. Nirasha. Here, of course, it's not that kind of independence that is meant. We are always going to be dependent as far as upadhi is concerned. We will always need food, etc., etc. This is the mental thing. Dependence. Emotional dependence, and this kind of dependence. I cannot do without things. Let us look at them. I don't say give them up, but let us examine, let us find out what they are. Even understanding our dependence also will help us as to what I need to do. Nitya-trptah, nirasha, tyaktva, karmaphalasang. Let us discover, make note of what asaktis we have before we can give them up. What are the asaktis? What are the expectations I have? What are the demands I have? What dependence I have? What dissatisfaction? Let us become aware of what we have right now. Then we may find that there are few things that are disposable. Then dispose them off. And then we can work with the remaining. And ultimately all of this will go only when we grow. Self-growth. Growth in the antahkarana shuddhi, the inner purification. It is inner purification that gives us inner satisfaction, that gives us independence. And therefore, life should be a process of inner purification, karma yoga, values, attitudes. So this is what we can learn from the wise person. What is spontaneous for the wise person becomes the values for us to be practiced and ultimately own them. Om. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Vadarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.